Hey, I'm TJ.
And I'm Eddie. And welcome to TETV. Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of TETV. Once again, I'm Eddie. That's TJ. We're going to try to start a little podcast about sports talk, a little bit of gaming, everything to do, stuff that usually guys are into. So we're going to try to start this right. So we're going to start to like a little bit of get to know you sesh. So TJ, you can start.
Hey, but real quick, if you're a girl and you like gaming or sports, we
will be happy to have you.
100%. All right. So my first question to you, Ed, is with you being a CEO, there's a rumor that always goes around and everyone hears about it. Is dropping the soap actually a true thing?
Dropping the soap. No, not really. Dropping the soap's a little bit of a taboo type thing that everybody thinks happens. A little bit of a rumor. Not usually. Not too much. Sexual assault usually happens in jail. Not at least at my county level. In the state level, maybe a little bit more, but not too much. So I would have to say no. That is a little bit of a myth.
But you do see it every once in a while, though.
I would say it's possible. It's very possible.
So what are you doing personally if you walk in on somebody in the showers?
Listen, that's a little bit above my pay grade. What's going on there? So we'll leave that one alone for FCC purposes. So I got a question for you too, bud. I know you just committed to University of Pittsburgh for your soccer scholarship, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And you think it's a little bit harder conditioning for college soccer than it is for high school?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the way that I started out with high school was we just had that traditional, we had our winter practices, which
Right.
Obviously with college, especially now since COVID, we're not doing that. And also with high school, we had summer practices, which I believe is also not a thing in college. So that motivates me way more. And I actually go to the gym every single day, 5 days a week.
And even though I know we're gym partners, how is it different during COVID to play a sport than it was pre-COVID?
It's definitely harder.
Because a lot of people, like I'm a little bit older than you. I'm probably about 6 years older than you. So when I played sports, it was just show up, grab the same materials, the same balls, everything else, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then just play. There was no worry about disinfectants or masks or testing before events. So elaborate a little bit on that.
So basically, every single practice, when we practiced over the summer, this past summer, every single time that we each had our own individual balls. Every time that we used like ladders or some other type of equipment like that, everything that we touched with either our feet, hands, whatever, had to be disinfected, which I know is a harder toll on our coaches and also on us. Because, like whenever we want to go to practice, we literally just want to kick whatever ball we see.
Yeah.
And that's just like human nature, man. Whenever like you play a sport like that, same thing with any other sport like basketball, man. You see a basketball, you're going to want to shoot that basketball. Football, you're going to want to throw that football.
Right.
And it's just, it was tough. Yeah. But, we eventually got used to it and, it's not so bad, but now it is starting to get worse because people are starting to have to wear masks now when they're actually doing the sport. Yes.
Wow. Well, I can imagine how hard that is. Doing cardio. I know trying to run on the treadmill at the gym with a mask on is
tough.
Insanely tough. Exactly. So I could only imagine. All right. We're going to move to a little bit of NFL news. Some stuff going on in the NFL. What a wild week, huh? Even though we're in off season, a little bit of crazy stuff going on right now. So
yeah. So you being a Steelers fan, especially, you're a diehard Steelers fan. So I know you saw the Chase Claypool video. My. A lot of people did. If you're a Mike Tomlin, how do you approach that?
Listen, I think it's hard with now a second-year wide receiver. For those who didn't know, a video came out on TMZ of Chase Claypool in a bar fight in Costa Mesa, California, to where he kicked a down man in the face. Now, this is a guy in his rookie season who caught 62 passes for 873 yards and 9 touchdowns. Amazing rookie season.
Yeah.
But now he's probably going to violate personal conduct policy in the NFL, and he's most definitely going to sit at least a game or have a hefty fine to pay for that, because the video, from what I can see, looks a lot like Kareem Hunt a couple years back. Yeah. And even though it might not have looked as bad in the video, it sticks with these guys, and it's so hard to get away from a video compared to just hearsay or whatever else. And when you're caught on camera, it's hard to take it away.
Yeah, and another thing about the Kareem Hunt situation, I feel like people made his a lot more severe.
Absolutely.
Because it was also, there was a woman involved.
It was a female involved, correct?
Yeah, and what he got suspended for, what was it, the whole season?
I believe it was the whole season, which ended up following him to where he wasn't re-signed.
Yeah.
And, he ended up going to another team. So the guy had a lot of potential where he was.
Exactly.
Kansas City. Yeah,
He was also, that year, he was the leading rusher, I believe.
Right. So, I mean, it's going to follow these guys no matter who you are. If you're top of the line or if you're even just a rookie, it's going to follow you wherever you go. Yeah. So, question for you now, since you're an avid Saints fan, as you could tell by our background, Mr. Marshawn Lattimore, he's currently in jail in Ohio on $5,000, 10% bond for receiving stolen property. I guess they got stopped in a car and they had a stolen gun in the car. He's to be released Saturday morning. So what's your thoughts on that?
Well, obviously for that situation is more severe than Claypool's, obviously, because he literally got arrested. But he's definitely going to receive a pretty hefty fine, and I know he's probably going to get suspended for probably around 3 to 6 games, I would think. And with Sean Payton being a pretty good coach, he may even sit him longer than that.
Right.
Personally, if I was the coach, I'd have to set an example off of that, because, like, you just got to show your players that that's just not acceptable.
Also, biggest thing going right now this week, San Francisco 49ers trade 3 years worth of picks, a 2021 12th overall, 2022 and 2023 first round picks, and a 2022 third round pick for the number 3 overall. Who are they going for?
Personally, me, if I'm the 49ers, you look at your quarterback situation.
Right.
And Jimmy G, if we're going to be completely honest, he's not a franchise quarterback.
Right. Which is surprising from what you saw out of New England in his first year by himself. Mm-hmm. You honestly thought that Jimmy G was going to be your man.
And even that playoff year, what was that, last year?
Yeah, you thought he was the man. I saw him come up behind Brady. Even him and Jacoby Brissett while Brady was out when he was suspended. I believe at Deflategate he got suspended for the games, and they both came in and they still won games, even being backup quarterbacks. So I thought either of those two could go and be franchise quarterbacks anywhere else. And as we've even seen from Brissett, it's still not happening. Yeah. So you think they traded up to possibly get Herbert or
Fields
from Ohio State.
Yeah, I would think personally.
I got the Chargers on my mind. I honestly thought Herbert too.
Fields.
Yeah, so they're probably going for Justin Fields. It's just Trevor Lawrence, this is his draft, He's already overtaken college football. He's most definitely going to come into the NFL. Probably do a good job with Urban Meyer in Jacksonville. I can't see Jacksonville drafting anybody else. Miami also, they're kind of they obviously cemented Tua as their franchise quarterback right now. Because I actually figured that they might actually try to trade Tua away.
Yeah.
And then maybe you could get a first round pick for Tua, absolutely.
100%,
So I thought maybe they would trade him away, and that if they didn't think he was the fit, and then try to trade up in the draft and get Fields.
Yeah.
And because I mean all the top 3 quarterbacks, even the quarterback out of BYU, they're all very solid quarterbacks.
This is a very good year for
very dense quarterback draft. Yeah. So I definitely think that they could have traded up if they wanted to, or kept their third overall pick. So Miami's going to be set for
Yeah, they just
Some
gained a
years
bunch of
to come.
picks. Yeah,
Some years to come.
they did a lot of trading.
A lot of trading, but they might actually have a solid team come 3-4 years from now.
See, personally, me, and I'm gonna make this prediction now, and you're gonna think that I'm crazy for this. I see Miami being way more than a playoff contender, maybe a Super Bowl.
I mean, you're
contender.
talking they're one game away from being a playoff contender
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
I mean, you're waiting for the Steelers to lose
And
out,
that's also with Ryan
or
Fitzpatrick
something else to
starting.
happen, and that's Fitzpatrick starting. So
In the
I
beginning
mean,
of the year, yeah.
Miami's already on the brink of being a playoff contender. So
And that's Tua's first year.
right.
He's
So I'm
gonna get
talking you
broken
build a
in
little
next
bit of a
year.
line around him, give him probably one more weapon, and you have a very, very strong Miami team.
Yeah, I also agree with that.
Yeah. So I mean, a lot happening in the NFL right now. Just big week.
Speaking of the NFL, though, because I know that this has really been on your mind, referring to Madden and the music that they have been producing the past few years in the actual game. I know that you personally hate the music and you'd rather go back to like 07, 06 Madden.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing Madden since probably 2004, I'd say. I probably had the Michael Vick cover. That was probably my first Madden, so you were just a young chump by then. But I had that Madden, and I just remember all the music from 2004 all the way up till about, I don't know, about 2015-ish was all great music. And I pulled up the, let me get up the soundtracks. And Madden 2010 was one that I just had like been like brought out, dusted it off, threw it in the old PS2 and threw it on. So some great bands, artists on there. There was, I mean, from the track listing was Tupac on there, Alice in Chains, the Beastie Boys, Black Sabbath, Cypress Hill, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Korn, Pantera, Nirvana, all these great Public Enemy, Rage Against the Machine. I mean, great music. Yeah. I mean, and you're talking very popular bands.
Yeah, like I know almost every one of those.
Every single one of those is pretty much System of a Down, Slipknot. I mean, the whole list through is.
Yeah. See, the thing is, you have that, and then you come over to the main song on Madden 21 is that On Fire song.
Right.
I have never heard of that artist.
Terrell Hines. I've never even heard of Terrell Hines.
No.
The other one that I know that's Rotation by Stunna Girl.
Yeah.
I've never heard of any of these bands. Juicy Fruit, Earth Gang, Black Bear.
And by the way, if one of these bands are your favorites,
I apologize. We just don't know. Yeah. I don't know if it's an age thing for me. I'm 24 going on 25, but
even me, I don't even.
I mean, you're 18. I mean, you would figure that they would put in something that would be pop music or something. There's no anywhere even close to anything that I'd even know. And I mean, I noticed it with NHL years back to where they had like some popular bands. I remember like Rise Against being in there, Soundgarden, like good bands, and then they'd have a bunch of like lower, like underground stuff to try to get them sells and stuff. You know what I mean? Which is fine. Which if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But a whole track listing of it just doesn't make sense.
See, that's another thing I was just about to say is like. This whole music thing, it doesn't just apply with Madden either. Like there's
right.
Like,
I mean, it's all
NBA,
all of
NHL,
EA Sports. They literally. I remember
even
like
2K
back
sports,
even 2K. I mean, I remember back like NHL hits, NFL Blitz, all the crazy slugfest, stupid stuff like that, to where you were putting people through glass and body slamming people and stuff. Those had some more popular tracks on it because they weren't made by like Madden and NHL. It was all like Midway Sports and stuff like that, to where like if they didn't have popular music in it, it didn't make their game because they had announcers that nobody knew. It was all early 2000s stuff. You had to grab somebody by music or your game was terrible. So. I think Madden is a big enough brand where people are going to buy it anyways because of, upgraded stuff. Also, another thing, my other complaint about Madden, I think honestly, them adding in X factors.
I knew you were going to say that, and I was just about to say the realism factor of Madden.
I think it took a lot of the realism out because, like in years past, like I said, in like 2004, like Michael Vick is just a well-known cheat code in that game.
Yeah.
In 06, like Peyton Manning and Donovan McNabb with the QB vision, they could see the whole field compared to somebody else where it was a tiny little like blip down the screen. That's all you could see. That's all you could throw to her was an off balance pass or something like that. Now with this X factor, it's ridiculous to where Lamar Jackson's
Turns into a
untackleable.
running back, yeah.
He's untackleable. It's just not even real anymore because they put him in there as a cheat code in this game, and then you see how he does in the season, and it's supposed to be updating as it goes, and he had nowhere compared to last year, the season that he had. You know what I mean?
That's another thing I also want to bring up.
They started off
do you think,
very, very slow this year.
Do you think that he deserved to be cover athlete?
See, the cover athlete thing to me has always just been a popularity contest.
Yeah, I agree.
It really doesn't matter to me because that's always just cover athlete, whoever they think's the coolest person that year.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple years ago, they were supposed to have Patrick Kane and Jonathan Tace as the cover athletes for NHL, and then Patrick Kane got in trouble and they pulled him. You know what I mean? So it's basically who they like at that time is the cover athlete. I really can care less what they do about that because that's all popularity contest anyway.
So your opinion, who do you think will be cover athlete next year?
Next year, I think Donald's going to get a character. I think he's going to get a cover one year.
I think I agree with that, and I would also say Kamara or Henry.
I saw it in the last year, more so running, put in the game, and defensive line.
That was a big thing this year. Defensive line
put in there as a user defensive lineman has been a big thing. So I could see, you know, like a Aaron Donald getting it or Derrick Henry for power rushing. I could see them putting that back in there. But
speaking of Derrick Henry, your opinion, who's the best running back in the NFL?
Power or agility?
Overall. If you are in the fourth quarter and you're down by a field goal, you're down by 4, okay?
Where am I at?
You're on their 25-yard line. You have one play. Who are you putting in?
One play?
One play. Fourth down.
And it has to be a run play.
Has to be a run play.
Fourth down and what?
You know what? We'll say inside the 10.
Inside the 10, Derrick Henry all day. All day.
Move it back to the 25 then.
The 25, I mean, you're talking flex out. You could do pass plays from the 25. Inside the 10, you're almost running all down.
Say you have to run the ball.
And you have to run the ball from the 25.
You get one play from the 25 to score a touchdown. Who are you taking?
Man, like I said, it would have to be between probably Kamara, Derrick Henry, maybe Jones from Green Bay.
See, a lot of people are going to get
very, very tough.
A lot of people are going to get really mad at me for this because, like you said, I'm a very big Saints fan. I'm not putting Kamara in. If it has to be a run play,
I would put Kamara back like probably like a screen pass from the
screen pass from the 25. Kamara's my first pick, 100%.
If it has to be a run play,
I'm putting Derrick Henry in.
Derrick Henry, like I said, Jones maybe.
See, a lot of people want to argue.
I like elusiveness in the NFL anymore because elusiveness. I mean, you saw it with Lev Bell years ago with the Steelers.
He's great.
I mean, when you have a good offensive line, elusiveness and just charging a hole is what gets you touchdowns. It's what gets you away. I mean, if you can break through that first set of line and then the linebackers, you're pretty much on one, you know? So any juke there is going to burn a safety or somebody else because usually corners are tied with wide receivers, whatever else. So I think that's why you saw Lev Bell go downhill after, sitting a season out and then going to the Jets, whatever. But I think once you take the offensive line away, I think even if Derrick Henry didn't have as good of an offensive line, he wouldn't be nowhere near the quality running back that he is.
Really?
I honestly think that. Even though he can run just about anybody.
So then you don't think he's the best?
I'm just telling you, any running back with a good line is going to be great. Any running back with a terrible line is going to be average or worse.
See, but I actually want to argue that point, though, because you go look at KC. KC has a pretty good O-line. You would say that, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You got a very talented running back
Right.
in Clyde Edwards-Helaire there.
Right.
You also have Le'Veon Bell as a backup.
Right.
Neither of them succeeded this year.
Right. I mean, but you saw Clyde at the beginning of the season, though, was disgusting.
But he only had a few touchdowns this season.
But I'm telling you, though, disgusting running with the offensive line. That's the only reason why Mahomes is taking less money now, is to get an offensive line. Yeah. Because a quarterback or a running back without an offensive line is nothing.
Yeah. That's
why multiple drafts, offensive linemen come out in the first and second rounds, because they're that needed. Because if the offensive line wasn't needed, you would only draft quarterbacks, running backs, and wide receivers.
Yeah.
There's no reason to draft anybody else. You know what I mean? If you don't need a line. Yeah. So I definitely think that's a big deal, is having your line and maintaining it. Because now, I mean, in Pittsburgh, you deal with an offensive line that's growing very old.
Yeah.
To where you're going to have to spend 1 or 2 years rebuilding a line
100%
before you can even throw a rookie quarterback into that mix.
Yeah.
I think that's why Roethlisberger got so beat up at the beginning of his career, because they had a decent offensive line. They had all-star Alan Faneca. It's really tough to be a great quarterback, great running back without a line. So a lot of Roethlisberger's beginning was running out of the pocket because it collapsed that fast on him and making plays on the run. And that's why when he got Antonio Brown, that was cheat codes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because he was
open,
open, because he's fast and he's a little guy and he could escape. So I honestly think that your offensive line makes your stars. It honestly does. Those are the unsung heroes of football. You know, it's just, I didn't realize until probably last year, 2 years ago, how big of a deal a left tackle is to a quarterback.
Like
a blindside tackle is the most important position, other than a pulling guard or a pulling center.
Yeah.
That is your most important position on that offensive line, is your left tackle. So, I mean, they can sing David DeCastro's praises all day, Marquise Pouncey's, anything. Really, in reality, the most important person on that line is Villanueva.
Yeah.
And now that he's, you know what I mean, 31 years old, I mean, that's not terribly old, but still, I mean, to beat your body like that and take hits like that all day and be that big, the dude already fought 2 tours in Afghanistan or whatever. It's insanely hard to keep and maintain linemen.
Yeah.
You know, it's Pouncey for his first 5 years wasn't even healthy. I mean, they made their Super Bowl run in 45, and he was injured for a good part of the playoff run. So, I mean, you go into a Super Bowl playing with a backup center, you're done. There's no way you're going to win that game if you don't have all your starting linemen. You know what I mean? There's no protection for your quarterback. I don't care how good he is.
Plus the chemistry of making certain blocks also is right there.
I mean, it's just that Tom Brady's had so many good teams because he had good lines. He had decent wide receivers that were mostly nobodies, other than Randy Moss. You know what I mean?
But he's not the GOAT.
So what I'm saying, though, is your line makes your star. He goes down to Tampa Bay. They surround him with a great line. They're bringing back 22 of 22 starters this year. They're making teams for these people to succeed.
But do you agree with me, though? Tom Brady is not the GOAT.
Why would, I mean, statistically, or I mean,
overall talent, and like in your personal opinion, if you paired up, say, because in my opinion, the 2 quarterbacks that I would say give Brady a run for his money is Peyton Manning and Joe Montana. If you pair up one of those 2 against Brady, say that they have a complete even team, who's going to win?
I would have to say that based out of everything,
both in prime as well.
but all in prime. Personally, I think Peyton Manning's probably the greatest offensive mind to actually play.
Yeah,
So,
I'd agree with that.
maybe quarterback wise, I mean, you can throw all the talent out the window. I think mind wise, Peyton Manning's probably the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
There's no way that you can get around that. I mean, because if you look statistically, I mean, Drew Brees has more passing yards than anybody. You know what I mean? So, I mean, and you're talking about a guy that can't even see over his offense.
And I would put him in my top 5.
So, I mean, I can honestly agree with you being a 2000s kid or like a 90s kid and growing up in the 2000s. I get it. But I honestly think that Brady is going to go down as the greatest of all time, whether you or I agree on that or not. He's going to. You know, you don't win all the rings, you don't win all the AFC championships and his one NFC championship, whatever, off being a slump. Now, most of his game is throwing 10, 15-yard chucks over the line.
Yeah.
Is it hard? No. But does it take talent to hit that stuff every time and have pass completions that are, you know, crazy like he does? Absolutely. I mean, I thought maybe he was just a product of the system in New England, and then you saw he left. He wins a Super Bowl, and New England's fighting to even get out of the AFC East.
To be fair, though, I mean, look at this, man. So whenever you have a quarterback like Tom Brady and you come over to a team who Antonio Brown is your third receiver,
Right.
and before that you have
Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, AB,
Gronk.
you got Gronk, and then your whole offensive line's good. You
And
have
Leonard
a great
Fournette.
defense, and then you have Leonard Fournette.
And you're telling me that great defense, like you said.
You win the Super Bowl, and then they re-sign your whole team. How would you expect this team not to be a Super Bowl contender
100%.
next year? There's no way.
I agree.
I mean, they got beat by the Saints twice last year, and it wasn't even like they got killed. It wasn't even like they just got beat. They got killed by the Saints twice, and then you beat them in the playoffs, make a sorry excuse out of the Saints. I mean, I'm sorry to say that to you, but they made them look stupid.
And I brought this up to you before, man. Like, we both just agreed, Drew Brees is probably a top 5 quarterback of all time.
Absolutely.
In my opinion,
And you're dealing with a top 5 wide receiver, Michael Thomas, too. You can't even deny it.
And like, a lot of people are gonna say that, oh, like he's just stupid for thinking this, but like this whole entire playoff for Tampa Bay, I think, was rigged because you're not gonna have a top 5 quarterback.
We said this when playoffs started.
Yeah.
I said Tampa Bay makes the playoffs, which they were a wild card because you know the Saints won the division, whatever. But I said if they even make it to the Super Bowl, it's fixed. Not let alone win it. You know what I mean? And I know Patrick Mahomes was fighting injury and all this stuff, and that just goes to show you how much injury actually affects these guys. Because you go to the Super Bowl thinking you're top of the line. Patrick Mahomes is throwing footballs out of stadiums, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this dude's a grade A. I'm telling you right now, he's going to go down as one of your better quarterbacks in history. If he can stay healthy, if he can get his surgery taken care of and stay healthy in the future, get a better offensive line or maintain the one that he has and stop trying to take all the money. Because why do you think Brady has all these teams? The dude stopped caring about money a long time ago. Yeah. Probably about after his 3rd or 4th ring with New England, he just stopped caring about money because because they just kept bringing good people that kept getting the money. And I mean, this dude's married to a model that makes 40 times what he makes. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't think money's a factor to this guy anymore. I think it's just a fact of he just wants to win and win and win until he dies or retires. I don't think there's any other goal in Tom Brady's mind other than being the GOAT.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, this dude has his own brand, the TB12 brand. He literally has all the money he needs. So I don't think the NFL contract means anything.
Yeah, but listen though. Right now, you may disagree with me. Right now, you would say Patrick Mahomes is in his prime, right?
Yeah, you have to. I mean, coming out of college and then you're in your rookie contract, then they sign you to your first contract. Absolutely, you probably still got 5-7 years left in his prime.
So right now, are you taking Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady?
Right now,
yes. To win a Super Bowl one season, who are you taking?
With their specific teams or with like equal teams?
With equal teams.
Patrick Mahomes.
I completely agree with you.
Because, I'll explain.
Go ahead.
Because Patrick Mahomes, number one, is not. I don't want to say not scared to throw the ball. The guy just has a cannon on him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So not only do you have a cannon,
He can
he's
throw
young,
the ball in very weird.
very young. He's very mobile.
Yeah.
Very elusive as a quarterback. He could throw on the run. You saw the pass in the
where he
Super
was-
Bowl. The guy's hurt, falls down, still throws a 25, 30-yard dot
Yeah.
to somebody. I mean, how can you disagree that this dude is top caliber? I mean, you're playing with mostly all old quarterbacks in the league that are still relevant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Most of the young quarterbacks in the NFL aren't even relevant right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Herbert coming up. You got
Deshaun.
Tua coming up. Deshaun's still relevant. You know what I mean? He's still good. His team's not. I mean, with whatever he got going on, he might not be good, but his team's not good.
Yeah.
They liquidated that whole team. So really, Deshaun could put up all the numbers he wants. He's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Until he has the team back again, he's irrelevant.
That's another thing I also want to talk about, actually, since we were talking about Houston. JJ going to Arizona. How do you think, personally, Arizona is going to be this year?
Well,
Do you think
my
they're going to be
thoughts on JJ are very simple. I thought JJ at this point in his life was actually going to go try. I think Arizona has a very good chance within the next couple of years, if not this year, playoff contention maybe.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray's a great quarterback, man.
is.
You have another one that's probably top 3 to 5 in the league.
Yeah. And you got
DeAndre Hopkins. That's what I'm saying. And DeAndre Hopkins, he's top 3 or 5 in the
He's
league.
probably top 3.
I would say he's probably one of the best in the league. So I really don't see why that team, and now you add JJ Watt to the mix. I really don't see why that team couldn't be in playoff contention with him this year, next year, or the year after. So I mean, by the time JJ's done playing, they're probably going to be taking a shot, a good shot at a championship.
If they don't have a ring before then.
That's what I'm saying. So I honestly thought at first that JJ was an idiot for even going there.
Yeah.
Because I figured you want to go somewhere to where
I personally thought he was going to go to the Steelers.
I did too. I thought he was just going to come play with his brothers, even though the Steelers aren't going to be making a run at a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
This is your year. As long as Claypool actually doesn't get suspended for the entire year like Kareem Hunt did. And then, you know what I mean? You get Juju Smith-Schuster for another year to hopefully take one run at this. This is your shot because Roethlisberger's probably done after this year.
100%.
I can't see why they would even keep him another year if they do anything less than 8-8.
So listen,
There's no reason. If they don't make the playoffs, there's no reason for this man to come back. And don't get me wrong, I grew up as a huge Ben Roethlisberger fan. You know what I mean? And there's a time to let him go. You know what I mean? Drew Brees went this year for you. They got to go. And it's time for this class of quarterbacks. Eli Manning went. Phillip Rivers went. Roethlisberger's next to go. Drew Brees is a couple years ahead of Roethlisberger and Rivers and Manning. They got to go. Yeah. Brady's the only one that's actually still succeeding because the style of game that he plays.
Yeah.
The style of game to where he doesn't take big hits like these other quarterbacks do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These old bodies are not working anymore, so they need to start to go. And it finally took until they replaced Eli Manning for him to retire. His choice was either retire or go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Steelers have a history of doing that with their guys. Troy Polamalu got threatened to get traded. Hines Ward got threatened to be traded. That was their choice: retire or be traded. So these guys want to be lifelong Steelers. They got to go.
Speaking about trading, though, so if you're the Steelers this year, you're obviously drafting a quarterback, correct?
You have to. Mason Rudolph is nowhere near a starter in the NFL.
Yeah.
I watched him early, even from college when he was a recruit and stuff. I thought he was good. I thought he was a real solid quarterback, and then he took that hit. He took the hit from Earl Thomas, and he was never the same after. He looked like a gunslinger from the beginning. From when he stepped on the field, he looked awesome.
Yeah.
And then he took that hit, and it just looked like he got shook, and he never came out of it. And that brought me back to like the Penguins days to where when Marc-Andre Fleury was taking a bunch of losses to where he had to go see like sports psychologists and stuff to even be able to get his game back. I mean, to where he got to be able to take the Penguins to like a cup run in 16, Yeah. So I don't know if this kid needs to go see somebody or do something, but he's just shook. It was ever since that hit that he just lost his mind and he cannot play anymore. So right now, until he gets himself straight, they need to draft a quarterback.
Yeah.
Because you're not pulling Duck Hodges with the duck calls or whatever back into Pittsburgh, because that guy, looking at a map they showed on a game, all of his passes are behind the line or 5 yards in front, man. You had a whole year without Roethlisberger to where this team almost made the playoffs, and it was literally because you had to put Duck Hodges in. That dude is not anywhere near an NFL quarterback. He's Tim Tebow, man. Yeah. He's Tim Tebow. You know what I mean? Go sign a baseball contract or something. That's the big leagues. You should not be there. I'm sorry.
So, in your personal opinion, you guys re-signed Juju.
Right.
Would you consider trading Juju to try to get a first overall pick? And or a second.
I mean,
because you're probably, let's be honest, you're probably not going to get a first for Juju.
I was going to say this far into his thing, into his contract, into his career, I don't think you're going to get a first for him. You could maybe
a second or third.
But last year, him as a number one wide receiver on that team, to try to put up numbers like Antonio Brown did as number one on that team, I just don't see it happening. No. I don't. I think him in double coverage, I don't think he can handle it, to be honest with you. I think he's a great number 2 wide receiver. Yeah. I think if somebody else is double covered with him, he's a great number 2 wide receiver.
See, Claypool or Deontay steps up, I think he's going to be good.
I agree, but do you have time to wait and pay him to be a second? You know what I mean? To be a number 2.
Claypool and Deontay.
But neither of them are ready. They're young still. Yeah. Deontay's in his second season.
But by the way, that they both
he's in his third season this year. Claypool being his second season this year. I don't see enough time to wait for Juju to pay him $8-9 million to be a number 2 wide receiver. You know what I mean? Until they dump Roethlisberger's money, they don't have time. They don't have time or money for any of that. You know what I mean? The Steelers have made a good career out of the past couple of years, out of getting the most out of their rookie contracts. Because you're looking next year, you're probably going to have to re-sign TJ Watt next year. Yeah. You're going to have to offer him a big deal because, you know what I mean? Yeah. Big deal. Because he knows he can get the money. He can get the money anywhere in this league. I mean, this guy is, he was runner-up for defensive player of the year.
Close to Aaron Donald caliber.
I mean, and people even argued that he should have got it. Yeah. So, I mean, and that's a linebacker compared to a defensive lineman. You know what I mean? I mean, beating him in sacks and beating him in all this stuff, rushes, all this stuff. I mean, he's going to go anywhere else in the league that he wants to go for any amount of money, whoever has it to offer him. You know what I mean? I honestly do, though. I think that the Watt boys are all into winning. I think they want to see championships.
Yeah.
So I think everybody.
Like
I think everybody in this league is in it for championships. To be honest with you, I feel like there's a very few number of it that are actually in it for the money. Yeah. But
and that honestly, that tends to be in receivers and running backs.
Yeah, I just
especially running backs.
I really just, I mean, the running backs had to fight for a lot of money in years past because they didn't get paid anywhere near what they should have. You know what I mean? All your money goes to the quarterbacks and the wide receivers because it has to. And the running back, as the league became a passing league, got lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They either had to be flex players, out as a wide receiver, screen passes. The running game stopped pretty much. It was all pass block. You know what I mean? They took the fullback out. All this stuff. I mean, to see teams even have a fullback to me right now is crazy.
Yeah.
I see no reason to even have a fullback on a team to where you could pull a tight end.
Yeah.
Like the Steelers had 2 tight ends last year that were both capable. Vance McDonald was older, but he was still capable tight end. You know what I mean? Even just to set him back there to be a fullback, just to block and have Eric Ebron, out there to go play catch. You know what I mean? It's just these guys. When they pulled the fullback, I knew that was when running in the NFL because like. We grew up in time of Jerome Bettis going against Brian Urlacher of the Bears and stuff, and it was power defense versus power offense. Yeah. It was rush and rush. Your wide receivers were slow. I mean, now you're talking almost every wide receiver has to run under a 4.3, under a 4.25. I mean, these guys got to be fast to be in the NFL. It's ridiculous. So power's over. So, I mean, that's why I think Derrick Henry did so good and does so good now is because I don't think anybody knows how to stop it yet. I don't think anybody still knows how to stop it because your linebackers aren't that they're not as bulky as they used to be in years past. They're more thin, athletic, elusive. They can get away from, they can blitz better now. You know what I mean? It's not run up the middle and stuff a big running back like Derrick Henry. You know what I mean?
See, what's like crazy though is like the biggest middle linebacker in the NFL is probably like Bobby Wagner or Fred Warner. One of those two, probably.
I mean, I just remember like seeing all these running backs that were just big dudes. Yeah. And then, even then, like with the Steelers, you had Jerome Bettis that would just rush you down your throat. And that's all you could expect was him to run up the middle or run just off tackle or something like that. And then they got Willie Parker in 2005-ish. He was about a rookie then. Yeah. He was an elusive back, and nobody'd seen that. It just wasn't a thing. Chris Johnson from Tennessee, you just never saw anything like an elusive back that could run a 4.2, 4.3. It just didn't happen. Yeah. So these guys were all-stars. You know what I mean? Willie Parker was really injury prone, but Chris Johnson now, he's a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? He's going to be, at least if he isn't, So that's the switch up in the game. I think I actually saw a thing on New England. They won their Super Bowl against the Rams by pulling a fullback and running the ball.
Yeah.
They pulled away from what the game is because the Rams are expecting them, they're West Coast, they're expecting them to throw, and that's how they're set up, So when you pull back and just play hard-nosed football and just rush down the middle, they don't know what to do. Yeah. There is no stop for it. So I think that's a big reason why Derrick Henry's so good is because power rushing, nobody can still get a hold of it.
Nobody can figure it out, yeah.
And I mean, that's even with Lamar Jackson, though. I wouldn't even say power rushing, just a rushing quarterback. Nobody's used to it.
Yeah, but I feel like I feel like
for
they're
years
starting to now.
They are now because the league's starting to take another shift. Yeah. Because before it was Manning, Rivers, Roethlisberger, Breeze, Brady, quarterback, drop, throw the ball. You know what I mean?
And now
down the play, drop. Now you have Mahomes, Tua, all these dudes that can run and they have quick feet. They got good moves. Now you're going to start to see a switch in the league to where you're going to have more running quarterbacks. I mean, to where Michael Vick looked like a cheat code before. You know what I mean? Before he went to jail and stuff, he was a cheat code with Atlanta. There was no stopping him. And then he came back and he played for Philly when he came back, and it was the same thing. You know what I mean? Just a little bit of running here and there. It mixes up a defense, and if your defense doesn't have one guy sitting there watching the quarterback, he's gone. You know what I mean? And you only need to pick up a little bit just to get you your next set of downs, and that's big.
He pretty much introduced.
I mean, to where Lamar Jackson literally could be a top rusher in the NFL. Yeah. I mean, his rookie year, he was one of the top rushers just as a quarterback, I mean, so the game's going to continue to change always. It always is. Somebody's always going to figure out your style. Somebody's always going to figure out something different to change this game. And I think that's why football is one of the greatest sports of all time, man. I don't think you're ever going to beat something like that because, I mean, in any professional sport, but football the most, that game will switch because these people get paid millions upon millions of dollars. And even their coaches and recruits and trainers and stuff, they get paid all kinds of money to figure out your game plan and take you down. So, I mean, maybe that's why Lamar Jackson didn't do as good as he did this year. Maybe they figured it out. You know what I mean? Yeah, QB spy, something like that. I just think that the game is always changing. There's always somebody that's getting paid money to figure it out. That's why I still think Josh McDaniels from New England, offensive coordinator, I still think that guy could go be a head coach anywhere he wants to. Yeah. But I think he has allegiance to New England, and that – just watching these guys break down plays of what they look for and stuff, it's disgusting to see what they know about everybody in that league, no matter who they play, no matter what they do. They can figure you out very, very quickly. Awesome, awesome sport.
Yeah, I also agree. So I think we have enough time for maybe two more questions, one more question. What do you think?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
So this is a bit of a random question. I just kind of, I was just really curious about about this. I don't know why. I just thought about it. But if you had to choose, would you rather eat toenail clippings for the rest of your life or pubes for the rest of your life? Just a bowl of them.
A bowl of pubic hair?
A bowl of pubic hair.
How many toenail clippings?
The full bowl.
Oh, for the rest of my life?
Rest of your life. Every meal.
Neither.
You got to pick.
Is dying an option?
It's not an option.
Oh, okay.
Just picture it.
Whose pubes and toenail clippings are they? Is the question.
Say you just.
Are they mine?
No.
They're somebody else's?
Say you go to a nail salon, right? And you just go in there and you're like, yeah, let me get all these extra toenail clippings, right? And you get a bowl, bro. Just picture it. A bowl full of toenail clippings. And you just go in with a spoon like you're eating cereal.
Frosted toenail clipping.
You put milk in it, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Whatever you want.
Soften it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just go in and just go crazy with it. Or you have the option to like going to like a
like a waxing salon.
Yeah.
With the pube.
Yeah. And then they could just, you get a whole maybe go there with a bucket or something, prepare for your next meals. And then you just get a spoon, scoop it out, put it in the bowl, do whatever. You can make it like oatmeal, dude. Add like water, heat it up, do what you want, man. I mean,
make it into a nugget, like a Brillo pad,
You could cook with it if you want, What would you pick?
I'll just take a 50-50 shot and say toenail clipping because I don't even know how to answer that question. That's so weird.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
You would honestly take somebody else's pubes and put them into your mouth?
Dude, just think about it, right? So like pubes are hair.
Yeah, but it's on somebody's privates.
I understand that, but listen.
Somebody else's.
Listen though.
How do you even get around that fact though? I mean, listen, I can disconnect somebody's feet from their body. Like I could just say, okay, well, this is somebody's feet. You know what I mean? Who knows? What is something weird? But somebody else's pubes?
But listen here.
It came off their genitals.
Okay, I understand that, but listen. This is what I got with you, bro. So like, think about it. Toenail clippings, right? There's fungus,
maybe
there's fungus underneath. There's gonna be a bunch of dirt,
maybe,
unless you're taking them like strawberries or fruit.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Who knows if they're clean feet? They could be clean feet. You don't know.
It could be. What if they just washed their pubes and then went to a waxing salon?
But it's still on the genitals.
But bro, it's still on the feet.
No, it's on the I mean, you're talking about somebody's penis.
It's true.
Or vagina. I mean, I don't care if they took a shower. There's some gnarly stuff that goes on down there, brother. I don't want anywhere near. No. I'm not putting anything around there in my mouth. And especially if you can grow your pubes long enough to contain them like that and collect them, sir, you need to invest in a trimmer. I just have to say, there's just no way. There's no way.
I'd go with the pubes.
You're disgusting. You are disgusting.
Oh.
That is absolutely disgusting. Like, what's better, death or death? What kind of question is that?
You got any random questions?
No, I think that one's actually going to give me nightmares, to be honest with you. I think that question might actually put me in the grave.
Okay, I got one more for you.
All right.
This one's a little bit more less disgusting, we'll say.
Okay.
Okay, so picture this, right? you're walking down an alley, street alley, and it's like almost pitch black. You got like a little street lamp, right?
Right.
And you just see this figure in the dark with eyes, bro. They're like beaming yellow eyes, right?
Yellow.
And it comes out, and you see it's a King Corso. You know what that is?
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
a big ass
Yeah.
dog. So, do you think you'd be able to take down a King Corso without no weapons? Without any weapons?
Listen, all right. I'll actually counter that with a story. Okay. We were actually in a town called Menneson. That's a town over from us, to which part of it may or may not be a little bit ghetto.
Yeah.
And we came out of somebody's birthday party at a PNA, which is a Polish club. Yeah. And I remember I had my sister with me. My sister's like 10 years younger than me. And then I had my mom with me. And then our other cousin, Chris. Yeah. We walked out, and there's a Pitbull sitting, like, I mean, in full, like, attack mode, freaking out that we just walked out. We're in the middle of the ghetto. Yeah. And I was probably 12 years old when this happened. And I walked out with my mom and my sister, full knowing I might have to uppercut this Pitbull. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I knew he was going to have to get the 1-2 Chris Brown. I knew it was happening, dude. You know what I'm saying? He was snarled back, and I was snarled back too, man. My little 12-year-old self with my Bieber hair. I was ready to uppercut that dog, man. I'll tell you that. And listen, I'm not into abusing animals, but I'm telling you right now, I swear to God, he was back. I was like, I was ready for him, So, my mom goes, oh my God. My sister goes, doggy, just like that. So I just pick her up and run, you know what I mean? And I just took her and I threw her in the car because, like, you know what I mean? Like, if I get bit by a dog, that's fine. Like, he's going to lose some teeth, you know what I mean? And I might get bit because my parents didn't love me, you know what I mean? They say they did, and that's all great. But my sister was the golden child. So I wanted to make sure that I got that little cute package in the car before I literally domestic violence this dog, man. I swear to God, I was going to murder that dog. Yeah. But yeah, it ran away. So I didn't get to murder it. I don't abuse dogs. So yeah, that's my story. So yeah, if I had a Cane Corso come up on me, I would most definitely uppercut that dog. I might put him in like a four like leg lock, like submission, like UFC hold on the ground. Yeah.
But you've seen a Cane Corso.
Yeah, like a rear naked choke on him. Yeah, no, I mean they're tough. They're tough.
Huge.
Mean looking dogs. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely tackle it and assert my dominance on it. Most definitely.
All right. Fair enough, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't want any dog to think they're tougher than me, man. That's a scary thought for a dog to think that it's tougher than you. Think about that, man.
That's how people die, man.
It's crazy. No, but like we're humans though. I mean, you're like top of the food chain, you know what I mean? Like even a lion probably wouldn't mess with you on its like, you know what I mean? Best day. I mean, if it was hungry, yeah, it'd probably mess with you, but I'm just saying, that dog, oh man, he was getting it. I was going to show him what was up, man. He was going to learn very, very quick that he was not the most hood person in Menneson, man. I was going to show him.
So let's go a little bit bigger. So what about a wolf?
A wolf?
Wolf.
I'm running from a wolf.
You're not.
That's wild, dude.
You're not messing with
Listen,
it?
that thing's going to eat you. I'm getting away from it.
But a Cane Corso won't eat you?
Huh?
A Cane Corso wouldn't eat you.
It's still a domestic dog, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're talking about something wild at that point.
Bro, I just said you found it in the alley.
It's in an alley. It's still a domestic dog. It's still the species
of
dog
that lives down the street from me.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's still a domesticated wolf. I'm talking a wolf out in the middle of nowhere. Are you actually going to fight a wolf? No, you're not going to fight a wolf.
It's true.
That thing's going to take a bite out of you. 100% it's going to. Would I give it my best shot? Yeah.
You're dropping it?
I'm going to give it my best shot. Absolutely.
Is it biting you?
Probably.
So you're swinging, and he's just taking a chunk out of your arm.
Yeah. I mean, you have to do what you have to do.
Yeah.
If I got to take his thing 4 rounds like Rocky Balboa and Drago, man, I'm going to. You know what I'm saying? He's going to get the best 12 rounds out of me he can. But I'm just saying, I'm probably going to get bit. It's absolutely.
So you'd probably lose your life to a wolf.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to lose some privates. So I mean, I'm not fighting him. I'm not fighting him stand up boxing like it's 1900s. I'm going to give you some uppercut with the. No, absolutely. I'm literally going to.
You're going to animal.
I'd mess him up, bro. I'd probably bite him back, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I'd probably bite him back.
Oh god.
I think those puppies forget we got thumbs, and I can do some crazy stuff with these thumbs, man.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm telling you, there's just no way. But I would definitely bite a wolf back, though. I think if he bit me, I think I'd latch onto him somewhere else too. I just hear the like, you know what I mean? Like, I think I would most definitely bite him back. And he could have 3 or 4 of his friends come watch, because that wolf, even though he might get a bited on me, he's getting the best fight of his life.
So you're biting the wolf, and then and then the rest of the pack is
Running away. Yeah, no, they're gonna be videotaping it, man. Telling you, swear to God, it's gonna be wolf TMZ, me in the forest with 4 wolves.
Oh my god.
He's literally gonna get bit by a human in front of all of his friends.
Yeah.
He's gonna be embarrassed.
Yeah, he's gonna be very embarrassed.
Like, what would you do? Yeah, go ahead, answer. What would you do? Okay, same scenario. Cane Corso. What are you gonna do in a back alley?
Cane Corso.
And you see the little yellow eyes light up. What are you gonna do? You're gonna punch him in the face.
I'm running.
You're a liar. You're running. You're gonna outrun a dog.
I'm gonna try my best.
Yeah, you're not gonna.
If
outrun.
he catches up to me, I'm booting him.
You're booting him.
Booting him.
Dude, I'm just telling you right now. Like, haymaker.
Bro, if he jumps up, I'm gonna hit him with a little jab at first, just to test it out.
Jab.
Just a jab.
You're just hitting him with a jab. What is this? Who are you, Floyd Mayweather? Are you trying to point him to death?
Dude, listen. So I'm hitting him with a jab just to see what he's about, right? and if he comes back at me, then that's when I hit him with the uppercut, and then I'm sending him flying, man.
You're sending him flying with an uppercut.
Yeah.
Why would you jab him? You trying to like get points on the scorecard or something?
Just like I'm trying to test to see if he's nice or not.
Oh, so you think he's gonna be nice after you jab him once in the nose? Yeah. All right. I'm just telling you, I want him to feel my full thunder right out the gate, so he knows.
I mean, I probably hit him with a flying knee.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Straight to the
I
face.
swear to God, if he's low enough, I'd hit him right in the face with the knee. I'd probably drop him with a knee. But you know, it's tough. It's a tough decision whether or not you knee or uppercut a dog in the face. Yeah. So, good question. Good question.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I think
that's gonna be about it for our first one, boys.
Yeah.
So if you have anything that you'd like us to answer, please like, comment, subscribe to our channel. We'd love to see you guys again, and we will be trying to upload weekly,
possibly
maybe even twice a week if we have time. So we'd love to see you guys back. So thanks for being here.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. And we'll see you in the next one.